Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, our main focus is on identifying the primary stress in words which constitute questions in section 4 of the test of orals in WASSCE and NECO. To identify this primary stress can be very stressful and confusing for you as students, but mastering the tips and rules of how to identify primary stress becomes easy and a walkover at the end of the day. Now, let us even find out what primary stress is. What is primary stress? In a word, the syllable with the primary stress is the loudest and longest. The syllable with the primary stress is the loudest and longest. Primary stress is that one syllable that sticks out the most when a word is pronounced. That one syllable that sticks out the most when one word is pronounced. What is a syllable? A syllable is a unit of pronunciation that has one vowel sound. A syllable is a unit of pronunciation that has one vowel sound. Words have one syllable or more. Words have one syllable or more. In WASSCE or NECO, these stress syllables are usually written in capital letters in words. For example, if you have democratic, the word democratic has 4 syllables. Democratic has 4 syllables. De, mo, cra, and tic. And so whichever one of the syllables has a stress is the one that's referred to as a primary stress. Whichever one of those syllables is written in capital is the one that represents the primary stress in the given word. Having mastered the rules, stroke tips of how to identify the primary stress in words, we are now going to use the sample questions above as our guide. But before we start, we'll look at the instruction that is usually given. You have to look at the instruction and know what exactly you're supposed to do. So we're going to look at the instruction, read the instruction before we begin to answer the questions. We are using the table before us as our guide. Now, this is section 4 of test of orals of WAEC or NECO. Now, before you start, you have to realize that in each of the following questions that we have here, the main or primary stress is indicated by writing the syllable in which it occurs in capital letters. The primary stress is written in capital letters. That must be very, very important. You have to take that into consideration. Now, look at the instruction. From the words lettered A to D, choose the one that has the correct stress. The one that has the correct stress. Now, the first question we have there is democratic. Democratic has 4 syllables. Democratic has 4 syllables. De, mo, cra, and tic. Now we are going to find out which of these syllables has the primary stress. Now for option A, the primary stress, the stress syllable here is the first syllable. In the second one, the stress syllable is the second syllable. In the third option, the stress syllable is in the third syllable. While in the fourth option, the stress syllable is in the fourth syllable. But the rule is that words that end in IC, suffix IC, have their stress on the second syllable from the last syllable. Words that end in suffix IC have their stress on the second syllable from the last syllable. And if you look at all these options, we realize that option C is the one that has the stress, the primary stress, on the second syllable from the last syllable. And so C is the correct option, the correct answer. So the word is now going to be pronounced democratic. Democratic. Because in finding the primary stress, it is the word, the syllable that has the loudest pronunciation that is the correct syllable. That is for democratic. Now we're going to use the same pattern for the next one. For the second question, we have mannerism. Mannerism. In mannerism, it has 3 syllables: man, na, and ism. It has 3 syllables. Now for the word mannerism, any word that ends in ism, suffix ism, has the stress on the first syllable. Words that end in ism suffix have their stress in the first syllable. And so the correct option here is B. Because if we look at option A, the stress, the primary stress is on the second syllable. Option B on the first syllable. Option C on the first and second syllable, while option D on the third syllable. But the law says that, the rule says that words that end in ism suffix ism have their stress on the first syllable, and so that is why option B is the correct answer, because mannerism has the primary stress on the first syllable. Now the third question we have there is photography. Photography. For photography, we have 4 syllables. And if you look at the option like the other options, you realize that we have the primary stress written out in capitals. For the first option, we have the second syllable, the primary stress on the second syllable. The second one, the primary stress is on the first syllable. The third one, the primary stress is on the third syllable, while the fourth option, the primary stress is on the fourth syllable. And for words that end in phy, suffix phy, the primary stress is on the third syllable from the last syllable of the word. The third syllable from the last syllable of the word. Now, if you look at option A, you realize that it answers that question. This is syllable 1, syllable 2, and syllable 3. You have to count from the back of that particular word. And so, words that end in phy suffix have their primary stress on the third syllable from the back. And that's why we have A as the correct option, which is photography. So this is syllable 1 from the back, syllable 2 from the back, and syllable 3 from the back. So photography, option A, is the correct answer to this particular question. And then for the fourth question, we have engineer. Engineer. This is a word that has 3 syllables. For words that end in suffix EER, their syllable, the primary stress is usually on the third syllable. Words that end in suffix EER have their syllable, their primary stress on the third syllable. So we have, if you look at these options, for option A, the stress syllable there is the first syllable. For option B, it is the second syllable. For option C, it is the first and second syllable, while option D is the third syllable. So the correct option here is option D, where we have the stress in the third syllable. Now we have looked at these questions. We have seen the pattern in which primary stress is usually attained. It is not something you have to just guess. There are rules, and you have to follow these rules to be able to give answers to the question, to give the correct answers to the questions that you have before you. So this done, I know if you follow the rules, you will find it easy, a walkover for you. Like I said earlier on in the video, you will find it as a walkover if you follow the rules. If you watch my previous videos on how to identify word stress for better understanding, you are going to see the link in the description box. Like, share with family and friends, subscribe if you are new to this channel, and leave your comments in the comment section. I will see you in my next video, where I will be treating words with different stress pattern, which is section 5 of Test of Orals question. Thank you and God bless.